Hello everyone and welcome to our Tech Tuesday tutorials number 157. Today we look at the new appointment schedules in Google Calendar. For years now, Google Calendar has had the ability to create appointment slots. Indeed, we covered this way back in Tech Tuesday number 38, over 4 years ago. Wow. Well, the appointment slots really hasn't changed at all since then, and it still looks pretty basic. In fact, it's a little bit clunky, and it generally feels, well, abandoned by Google. Well, not anymore. Appointment slots is going away and will be replaced by appointment schedules. Appointment schedules is an upgrade to appointment slots in almost every way. You can turn it on or off at will, and as I said, it will eventually replace appointment slots. If you're new to all of this, well, don't worry, I'm about to explain. Appointment slots and the new appointment schedules allows you to set up events that other people can use to book appointments with you. So this is the old appointment slots. It works roughly the same way. You'll get a special URL that you can use that's your booking page, and people can browse through your time slots and book them. Now, once booked, those slots disappear for other people. This is very convenient because it allows you to block off time and you don't have to play email ping pong trying to get a time set up for someone to meet you. Appointment schedules are great for office hours, tech support time, parent-teacher conferences, consultations, evaluations, and a whole lot more. To activate the appointment schedules, you need to first log into a Google Workspace account. Personal accounts don't have this feature. Then in the top right-hand corner, click on the gear and go to Settings. Look over on the left-hand side and you'll see Appointment Schedules. Click on that and then you'll see at the very bottom a little check mark that you can activate to turn on appointment schedules instead of the old appointment slots. Once you're done, hit back and you're back at your calendar. Now, any appointment slots that you've made have this little icon here and have a solid color. You're going to notice that that's different from the appointment schedules, which is the new feature. Okay, so let's say you wanted to create one of these new appointment schedules. Let's say I had some interviews that I wanted to schedule from, let's say, 9 to noon, and I needed some slots created so people could self-register. So I come over here to my calendar, and this is way in the future, and I just go and choose from 9 a.m., and I can set it until noon. Now, normally I would just create an event and do it this way, but in this case, I'm going to instead choose appointment schedule. You'll notice that the form turns out a little bit differently, but I can still adjust the time as normal, and I'll come over here and choose that to run until noon. And then we're going to create a new appointment schedule. I'll hit continue, and you're going to notice a couple things here. One, on the calendar, you'll see a bunch of little slots on this layout here, and I can give it a name. Okay, and then I can choose how long I want these to be, any amount of time, even custom. I'm going to leave it at 30 minutes. I can tell it to repeat weekly, which is the default. You're probably going to want to turn that off and just tell it don't repeat. And you can set specific dates if you set that up, unless you have regular weekly office hours or things like that that you can do. And again, remember, you can set this up. Students can sign up for these things like tutoring or something like that. You could say it's tutoring from 3 to 3:30 every day of the week, and you just have it a repeating event. Or if you're an administrator, you can set up times for observations and things like that. But I'll come in here and say it's on this day from 9 to noon. That's fine. The scheduling window is kind of nice because what it lets you do is it lets you say, don't allow people to sign up for things unless they're within a certain amount of days of the event. So in this case, since this is way in the future in June, I'm just going to go in here and put, let's say, 360 days. And then what's the minimum time? You may not want it to be bookable within 24 hours of the time. You want to have some notice and things like that. So I'll set that to say 24 hours. The buffer time is actually pretty awesome that they have this even in there. It's basically the amount of time between the slots. So the interviews might run 30 minutes, but I might need about 15 minutes to get ready for the next one and to write down a few notes and things. You'll notice that that changes, and I can only get 4 slots in that 2-hour session. And then how many maximum bookings per day? While there may be 4 slots, I may say I only have time to do 2 interviews that day. I'll hit next, and at this point you can go in here and see where's it going to be. I can set this to none, specify it later, a phone call, in-person meeting, or Google Meet. If I do an in-person meeting, you may be tempted to set a room. Unfortunately, you can't set the room while you're doing it for this mass block of slots. You can set it once an appointment has been made. You can then go in there and edit the appointment and add a room. I believe that adding rooms is coming to the actual slot matrix, but right now it has to be done after it's been booked. I'm going to choose Google Meet. This will be an online interview, mock interview, and I'll come in here and type a description. All right, and the booking form. You're going to automatically ask them for their first name, last name, and email address, and then you can come in here and add a phone number. Or you can add a custom item. Just note that if you type in a custom item and you say, let's say, address, you can make it required, but if you do create a custom item, you cannot add another custom item. It just doesn't let you. It's only one. So make that one count if you add one. Booking confirmation reminders is actually pretty awesome. It's going to email them a reminder one day before, but you can change that if you'd like. And you can say, I need it more like 3 days before, but you can add more reminders. So you can say, okay, and I also need 1 day before and maybe an hour before. So they're going to get 3 emails for this event, and then hit save. At this point, now I have this matrix, this big section here from 9 to noon, and it looks a little different than other events. So if I come in here and put in another event, you'll see that those are nice and solid, and so on. Now you can put other events on top of this, and it will affect the availability of these items. We'll see that in a second. To view the details of these appointment schedules, you simply go over here and click on this little bar, and it'll highlight the whole card, and you can click on your booking page. Your booking page is a unique URL that you can actually put in your signature or things like that. And it's going to show all of the appointment schedules that you've created. Now I've went ahead and created a second bookings item here with a different name. So when we go to click and open this, you're going to see that this has a bookings page. And if you click and open that, it's going to open up a page that's just for those appointments with that name. And same goes for this one as well. And they're different links, slightly different links. And so whenever you're sending out a link to people to book with, it will be based on the instance that you've created. Now you can always come into these appointment schedules and edit them and add more dates. So you can add any number of dates to this and have it all throughout the year for a particular thing, like tech support or interviews or whatever, and trust that whenever you send out the link to these items here from the bookings page, when you send out this booking page link, it's going to be just for that thing. It's not going to show all the other appointment slots that you might have. That's really good because you might want to have appointment schedules for tutoring for the students, but also have appointment schedules for parent-teacher conferences for the parents, and you really don't want the students booking parent-teacher conferences and vice versa. Yeah, so just know that each appointment schedule has its own link and its own page. So when they come over here to look at that, they'll see they'll see the calendar there, and of course they may have to go forward a little bit to see the dates, and you'll see slots right there. That's what's available from 9 to 11. Now, if I come in here for this interviews, and let's say I add something in here, and I have to have a meeting suddenly at 10, and I had to schedule it, I put it on there. So the next time we go over here and take a look at the bookings page, you'll notice that the only slot available is for 9 a.m. That's because I have another event that's including these slots here. So that's really awesome. Another good upgrade from the old appointment slots. Any event that kind of steps into that area there will affect the available slots that people have to register with. So let's go over here and let's copy this, and I'm going to go into my student account now, and I'm going to go to that page and try to book an appointment. So that's in June 9th. I'm going to book 10:30 a.m. I'll fill in my address and then book it. It's going to say booking's been confirmed. An email was sent to this address. There's my date and time. I can join Google Meet and everything else. And I can cancel my appointment right here if I need to change it. But let's say I don't. Let's say I hit close. You'll notice that these buttons no longer have that 10 o'clock slot. It's gone. No one else can take it. If I go back to my regular account and I take a look at that date and time, I'll see that I now have, let's move that out of the way, interview with student 01 at 10:30 a.m. If this event got canceled or moved, that opens up that other slot there. If I hit refresh, I'll see that that 11:15 slot is there available, but the 10:30 with the student is no longer an option for people to pick. When I go there, you'll see that it's got a Google Meet link already created for me. Everything else is there, and it's a basic, event, except that now instead of cancel, it has an option to cancel the appointment. Now, let's say I wanted to take this and I want to sign up with an incognito, an account that's not logged into Google. And maybe mom and dad have a Yahoo account or something like that. Again, the old appointment slots had this feature, but they didn't allow people without Google accounts to use them. So now I'm here, not signed into any Google account whatsoever. I go to 9 a.m. It asks me for all this information. I'm going to try to sign up with example.com. It does work. The problem is that email being sent to joe@example.com is going to go nowhere. But you can see that even without a Google account, this is usable. So this changes the game when dealing with mom and dad and stuff like that. You can now set up meetings with them, let them pick the slot. You don't have to go back and forth with email. In fact, that link here to, in this case, interviews, it could be parent-teacher conferences. Remember, you can add multiple days to this, and I'll go back and show you how to do that. Multiple days to any of these named schedules all throughout the year, as long as they have the same name and you're adding it to the same schedule, then that link doesn't change for that schedule. So you could reuse this link, put this on your syllabus. You probably want to use a tiny URL like bit.ly or something like that, or put it in your Google Classroom for the students, or put it in your emails to the parents, stuff like that. Now, if I wanted to add more to this, because this is from 9 to noon, let's say I wanted another section from 2 to 4, because we had lunch in between. I didn't want to mess with that. I can go into any one of these that have already been created and edit them. And when you go here to edit them, one of the cool things you have is you can change it to be repeating and all that, but you can also add a date. So if I come over here and add a date, I could add the same date, or I could even add a new period for the same day, basically another slot for that day. So I could say we're going to start back up from 2 to 4. And so now there's 3 more slots available with the buffers and everything else from 2 to 4. Hit next. So basically you just go back in there and add more slots anytime you want, just by modifying any one of the items in the schedule. When we refresh this, head back over there and check it out, you'll see that there are now more times there. So in summary, I really think that the appointment schedules is an awesome new feature, good for educators in almost every position, works with people in or out of the Google ecosystem, and it's free. And you just need to go up here to the gears, settings, and appointment schedules, and just check the box there to enable it. If you find you don't really like it, just uncheck the box and disable it, and you're no longer going to be able to use it anymore, and it'll go back to the old appointment slots. Just know that appointment slots is going away. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it useful, and if you did, go ahead and click that like button. Heck, why not support us and click that subscribe button. Click the bell to receive email notifications. Leave a comment or an idea for a Tech Tuesday video in the comments below. Share this video with your friends. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.